Hey guys, so today I just want to talk about kind of my routine, what I've been doing lately. I've been watching a lot of Alex Eubank and a lot of Sam Sulek, specifically for the bodybuilding part, which is what I've been focused on for the past week. I haven't been able to go to my MMA lessons or sparring sessions because I've been in and out of the hospital with my daughter. She's much better now, she's at home, but I'll probably get started back on that on Monday. So I got a new setup now. I got a microphone and camera and stuff like that to see how this goes. So I'm kind of new at it, but I'm very excited right now. So I changed up my breakfast. I'm doing something a little bit more simple, very typical cutting routine, just high protein, low everything else basically. Trying to get at least a cup of vegetables in, 1 or 2 cups of vegetables. I'm tracking everything with MyFitness app, which has been very helpful. Eating lots of egg whites for breakfast, peppers, just making sure I count everything. I'm doing about 1650 right now for my target calories per day, and about 150 grams of protein. I'm trying not to cut too much on the carbs because honestly that keeps me satiated and also ready to go in terms of having that glycogen storage inside your muscles is always good for a good workout. You don't feel tired, you're less prone to injury. So I'm not really trying to go too crazy on lowering the carbs. Breakfast is just egg white scramble with some keto tortilla, soft tortillas, little bit of Brad's organic pico de gallo, which is a lot of flavor there. That breakfast is actually super delicious. For lunch, it'll vary. I usually just do my little cubes of pre-portioned grass-fed beef from Costco, which is amazing. It's amazing. Just 20 grams of protein, 2 little cubes, 40 grams of protein right there, with a little bit of white rice, about less than 100 grams of white rice, very small portion, and an egg with a little bit of ketchup. It sounds disgusting, but it's actually incredibly tasty. It's very good. Tons of protein. I get about 50 grams of protein just out of that, which is kind of my goal per meal. So 50 grams of protein in the morning, 50 grams of protein in lunch, 50 grams of protein for dinner, and then for dinner it'll vary. So I'll pick any type of dish I like, whether it be a pasta dish, lamb chops, sweet potatoes, rice, whatever it may be. I'll just make sure that I portion it correctly so I can get enough calories. I have enough calories left over for my protein, which is kind of the main thing on this diet. I'll add some vegetables. A whole cup of broccoli is just like 30 calories. If you just steam it, it's even better. You can roast it too, but don't put too much butter or olive oil. You gotta count that in. It's hard to track fats, especially in certain dishes, because even if you don't strain the whole thing, there's still, if you cook with it, it's in there. So you have to make sure you just count it and just weigh yourself, see if you're actually measuring what you are actually eating. So let's say you're hitting for 1700, but about 100 or 200 of those calories, you don't really know if you're actually counting them correctly because of the butter you put in the pan, the olive oil you put in the dish, or whatever it may be. That's a lot of calories to not know for sure. So I try to just count it. So if I put a tablespoon of olive oil, 100 calories, I just put 100 calories. Even if I can visually see that there's still olive oil in the pan when I took everything out, I just count it. So if I'd rather be a little short in my calories, right? I'm cutting a little bit more than I really think, than being over, right? Because then you're sacrificing, you're dieting, you're working out, and you don't see any progress, which is the worst thing for the mental, right? So that's basically what. Last night I ate lamb chops. We went out to a restaurant and I only had like 500 calories left. I needed like 50 grams of protein. So I just focused on eating the protein with a little, the least amount of carbs or anything really on the dish. So I just focus on eating just the lean part of the lamb chop. And I kind of eyed it, so it's about 3 or 4 ounces, which gives me about 40 grams of protein. But I was already over that day on the amount of protein that I needed, so it was fine. So it's kind of the general idea of what I've been eating lately. It's been very helpful to just track everything, just use the app, track everything, and just leave myself enough room in the PM to have a good meal so I don't go to bed hungry, which is the worst thing. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.